Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is our take. We are your hosts. I'm Ocean.
I'm Taylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a fun one for you today. It's an episode that we weren't sure if we were going to do, if you guys remember when we did our trailer reaction. But today, we're going to give you guys our take on Universal's, right? It's Universal Studios' newest release film titled Fast X. If you had told me 15 years ago that there was going to be 10 Fast and the Furious movies, I probably would have laughed in your face. And I probably actually would have been excited because at that time, like, you know, they were still amazing. But at this point, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to talk it out, talk about the good, talk about the bad, traditional fashion, spoiler-free content first. Then we'll dive into some scores and then get you guys the specific details and all the little Easter eggs and things that we missed and all the ridiculousness that happened in this movie. This movie came out on Thursday, or technically Friday, which was May 19th. Right? May 19th was the official release date. This movie stars...
I'm just going to go through the actor names because there's a lot of them.
Okay.
Vin Diesel, Jason Momoa, Alan Ritchson, Rita Moreno, Michelle Rodriguez, Brie Larson, Sun Kang, Tyrese Gibson, Charlize Theron, Jason Statham, Jordana Brewster, John Cena, Scott Eastwood, Daniela Melchior, Natalie Emmanuel, Ludacris, and the kid is Leo Abello Perry.
A lot of actors, a lot of actors and actresses. The Fast and the Furious franchise has, like, it seems like every movie they add like one or two more big name actors, right?
Yeah,
the ones for this movie were Brie Larson, Scott Eastwood, Jason Momoa, obviously. I don't know, is that it? Those are the only. That big buff white dude. Oh yeah, what is his name?
Alan
Jack
Ritchson.
Reacher, huh?
Alan Ritchson.
Alan Ritchson. I love that dude. He's Jack Reacher.
Fucking huge, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've always been big because I only knew you from like
Blue
your
Mountain
really
State.
old stuff. Yeah, Blue Mountain
State.
But
Dad.
you got really jacked
he's
now.
Huge now. Yeah, dude's huge. He's actually really good at Jack Reacher. I like him at Jack Reacher. But I love him because of the Blue Mountain State days.
Yeah,
like,
he was hilarious in Blue Mountain State.
Blue Mountain State is still probably one of my favorite like adult comedies.
His own spinoff.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah. So it's really cool to see him in this, and we'll talk more about his character and how he played into this new storyline. So, as far as spoiler-free content, ladies and gentlemen, our general thoughts on the movie. For me personally, I got exactly what I was expecting out of this movie. There's really only one surprise for me, and I'll save it for the spoiler section. But it has to do with a specific person's performance, and their character. But outside of that, I got exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting a 2.5 hour long montage of just ridiculousness the entire time. And somehow it kind of like, I was like, I don't want to say I was disappointed, but like, I had this like little shred of hope that they were going to try and do something decent in this movie. But man, I don't know. There's so much ridiculousness in this movie. It was hard to handle. Though there's plenty of times where I like leaned over to John and I was just like shaking my head. I was slapping my head. I was like, what the hell was that? So we'll get into more of it, but how did you feel, Taylor, after watching? Because you didn't want to watch this movie. You were pretty like, if you guys remember our trailer reaction for this, like you were pretty like set on not watching it. So what changed your mind? Why did you decide to watch it?
The only reason I watched it is because Scarlett really wanted to watch it for some reason.
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But even for him, like, as much as I love you, I still like, I felt bad watching this movie because it's something I genuinely think is wrong with like a lot of industries, and I don't like to support this kind of stuff. But just, just being
We also did it for
nice.
you, ladies and
But
gentlemen. For you guys, we sat through the pain of watching this movie, and we wanted to bring you guys our opinion or our take. All 68 of you, by the way. Thank you to those new people. Welcome to the
yeah,
welcome to the family. Welcome to the Ohana. Thank you guys for subscribing. But yeah, I feel you. It was hard to watch. But was there any part of it that you enjoyed, or was it just pure misery the whole time?
I mean, there's like a couple characters I thought did good. Um, music was okay. That's about it.
All right, all righty. We'll get into some scores now. Taylor, for the 10th and the second to last installment of the Fast and the Furious franchise, what is your score for Fast X?
Realistically, it shouldn't be this slow, in my opinion. But I hated this movie so much. I also have not seen all of them, and so there's like certain things I can't tell
Probably,
if it's
yeah.
like
Canonically
just
correct or whatever.
horrible in the movie or if I just don't know from previous movies.
Well, that's something that we can explore.
But yeah, this movie fucking sucked. And after immediately watching it, like I was really angry and confused about what I had just seen on a screen. And I was going to originally just like flip out on this video, but honestly, I feel like it's just not really worth my effort. So this movie's like a 3.
3. Okay. I hear you. I had a lot of the same feelings immediately after the movie. I was just like, what the hell? The more I thought about it, it wasn't that it got better. I think I just had to manage my expectations and like realize that at this point this franchise is just not what it used to be. It's not.
Well, yeah,
It's
that's
not
like the thing I noticed watching it is like I don't recognize anything in this movie.
Yeah, I don't like, even when they tried to pay homage to the old stuff, I was just like, this is it's almost like blasphemy. It's almost like you guys are like, it's wrong. So we'll get more into that. But for me, ladies and gentlemen, my score is going to be a 4. Right in the same neighborhood as you. Really did not enjoy it. There's the only reason probably why it's a number 4 is because one specific character that I actually thought did really well. But that's pretty much it. So, and it functions. I know we've talked about that before.
Yeah,
it's a functional movie.
They hit play, something goes on screen, and then it stops.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a functional movie, but it's a 4. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some people out there that really, really enjoyed this movie because you just like this mindless kind of action movies, which is fine. But it seems like the general consensus of other critics and people that have reviewed this film are right in the same neighborhood as us. I think Rotten Tomatoes is like mid-50s or low 50s or whatever. So
no idea.
I think we all kind of agree on. Huh?
It's surprising to me
that it's so low or so high? So low?
So low.
Well, I think the audience score is like 85 or something.
Okay,
like
that makes sense.
Yeah. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, those are our scores. If you guys have not seen this movie yet, I personally
don't watch it. Please.
I personally don't think it's necessary to watch it in theaters.
No, don't watch it at all. Just stop.
I didn't really spend any money on it because we have the Regal Pass, but I think if I had spent money on it, I probably would have been like.
Was it worth your time?
Not at the time that I saw it, because we saw, like, I got home pretty late from it and I was tired, and I woke up the next morning for work tired, and like I would have rather gotten a little bit of extra sleep. If I had seen it like in the middle of the day on the weekend or something, then it probably wouldn't have been as big of a deal. But yeah, I'd say you don't need to watch it, ladies and gentlemen. You already know what happens if you watch the trailer.
Literally, the trailer's like half the movie.
If you just watch the trailer, you already know everything that happens. There's really no like big twists or turns or anything. It's pretty self-explanatory, and you already know there's going to be ridiculous stunts and ridiculous crazy stuff. So Alternatively, just stick around and we'll dive into all the crazy things that happened and talk about what was bad and the very few things that were good. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to serve as your official
Spoiler alert.
All right. So I'll start off with good because I'm sure there's going to be a plethora of bad that we're going to talk about. For me personally, I was very pleasantly surprised at Jason Momoa's performance and the writing of his character. I was expecting this like big, burly, like crazy, like basically a carbon copy of John Cena's character, just Brazilian or Portuguese instead. But I actually really liked his character, and I thought Jason Momoa did a really solid job at portraying a new type of villain, we'll call it, within this franchise. There still were issues with like his backstory and how he managed to become so powerful and stuff, but I really liked his mannerisms and just he was funny and it was cool to see Jason Momoa in that kind of role because usually he's your big bad superhero kind of guy, but in this one he's a lot more like just whimsical and kind of all over the place, and it was pretty cool to see. So, how did you feel about Jason Momoa's performance?
Yeah, he's probably like the standout thing from this movie. It's just his performance. Like you said, it's a lot different. It's more fun, I guess.
Right.
It's there's another movie I've seen him in that was not exactly this, but like closer to this than his normal
This
stuff.
is the one where he had like teeth and horns.
Yeah, it's like Slumberland or something.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, some kind of kids movie thing.
Well, from what I've seen from like his Instagram and stuff, and the way he lives his life and whatnot, this is closer to the like how he actually lives. Like he rocks pink clothes and he wears like I don't want to call it feminine, but just he acts a lot closer to how he portrayed in this movie than the big burly superhero kind of guy in his normal everyday life. So
yeah, which is cool. I don't. Really
I just
care.
think it's cool. It's cool to see it out there. I think. So
yeah, he definitely was probably the best character in this movie. There's a couple of smaller ones that I thought did well.
Who's that?
I liked John Cena in this. I had never seen him in a movie or a Fast and the Furious movie.
That's funny that you say that. Go ahead.
And he kind of just stands out to me as doing like his peacemaker role.
Very much so.
Which, he fit that very well.
Yeah.
And then the last one for me was, it's really just because I haven't seen him in a while, but he's still just as good as he has always been, which is Jason Statham.
Oh.
His fucking fight scene was pretty awesome. Yeah. Well, just the fact that he can still do this shit.
Yeah, because he's pretty old.
Well. No. Yeah, but he's fucking ripped.
Oh yeah, dude is an absolute menace.
Yeah.
Because he's doing Meg 2 now, right?
Yeah.
Or it's coming out soon. Yeah, he's a menace. It's funny that you say that about John Cena because I'm sure our producer would agree with me. His original part in the Fast and the Furious from the last movie was just horrible. Like I hated him in Fast and the Furious 9 or Fast 9.
That was the last one.
Yeah, he was the last villain.
I didn't know that.
And it follows the same like thing of where there's this like reoccurring theme within the Fast and the Furious franchise.
That makes sense when they explain it in the movie.
Yeah.
And they're like, all these people are like ex whatever. Yeah. They join the family.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. They take the villain and then they turn them into part of the family. And it happens with pretty much everybody.
They tried to in Fast 9 or Furious 9 or whatever they called it. He became like a hero in the middle of the film to fight Cypher, who was.
It was a Martha moment.
Yeah, basically. But then at the end of the movie, they like almost recreated the original Fast and Furious, where Dom gives him keys and he says, "Someone once gave me a 9-second car and a second chance."
Yeah.
And like recreate.
So at the end of the movie, he, the big bad authorities are coming for John Cena's character. John Cena is Dom Toretto's brother,
right?
And long lost brother that we had no idea existed. Right. And so at the end of the movie, after the big final battle or whatever, and they end up defeating him, or he ends up helping them defeat.
Whoever it was.
I don't even remember who it was. I think it was still Cypher, right? Yeah.
Cypher, probably.
Whoever it was, because he ends up turning good and has a Martha moment where he's like, "Oh, I'm here to help now," and then Dom gives him a car to escape because family.
It's all about
I think
family.
the
Yeah.
agency was coming after.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the agency. Yeah. So I hated it. I hated that they tried to convince me that John Cena and Vin Diesel could be brothers. And two, just the way that they like completely turned the entire franchise around, or what is it called? Retcon? Yeah.
The franchise.
They completely just retconned the franchise. I still don't really know what that term means, but I hear it used all the time. Because like there was no, he didn't have a brother. Like it's just not. They tried to explain it like he.
Yeah, I mean, there's
It's
all of this in this movie shouldn't exist.
right. Yeah,
Like
and that's the ultimate
stopped,
problem.
Like 7 movies ago.
Yeah, that's ultimately the problem, is that we just shouldn't be at this point, right? But I would agree with you now that in this movie he got way better.
Yeah.
And I like that he brought more peacemaker-ish vibes to the character, because it made for some really funny moments.
Yeah, like he's badass but still super funny.
Yeah.
Great mix.
And that's not what he was in
So,
the
okay,
last
that's
movie.
good. Well, it's good that I didn't know that.
Yeah, it probably is. And yeah, Jason Statham, always good to see Jason Statham. I almost feel bad. Like, I almost feel
How
bad
old
that
is he?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure how old is Jason Statham?
He's gotta be getting kind of old now, but he's still
probably
looks like
60s.
he's fucking great.
I'd say he's 60s. But I almost feel bad for guys like Jason Statham, 55. Yeah. I almost feel bad for guys like him and the actor that plays Han. I don't know his name.
Sun King.
Yeah. And like even like Ludacris, because like I
Luda.
love Luda and I love Jason Statham, and I almost feel bad that they're like tied to this franchise.
Yeah, they're stuck with it.
And they're stuck. Like they have to stick
Yeah.
with it, otherwise it just would be bad for them.
Thanks, Obama.
So it sucks, because this movie really just, it shouldn't have been made, and I don't really know why, other than the fact that Vin Diesel is just greedy or something.
Well, I mean, I blame the audience people that have funded this for all these years
Yeah.
that led to this. And only, I guess, well, no, because you said the audience score was still pretty high. So
I would like to know from you guys that are watching, like, what is it that attracts you guys to these movies? Like, what is it that makes you guys like these movies? And I've thought about it, and I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. But for me, I think that what is happening is that the original, like, first 3, we'll say, were basically a cult classic. It wasn't really like a widely loved thing, I guess. Like, everybody kind of knew about it, but I feel like it was more of a cult classic. And then when they started building on it, people felt it, or the people that are still watching it today, they kind of like fell in love with like 4 through 6. They liked 4 through 6, and that those movies are more closer to what happens in these last 3 movies than the originals. Because for me, like, it's not even close to what it used to be.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like 1 and 2 is basically what it is.
Yeah.
3 is my favorite, but 3 has no connection to 1 and 2. Like, they may have made some shit up and like added stuff later,
Like,
but there was zero
retroactively.
connection.
Yeah.
Because what it is was a great spin-off of
Right.
the original, which is what they should have been doing if you wanted to continue. Instead, they took the first 2 group and then they like took a cool character from 3 for some reason, and then tried to like make some bullshit up to add him to the family, and then they just created this entirely new, different fucking thing
Yeah.
from 4 on.
So I was talking with our producer after the movie, trying to pinpoint what exactly I don't like about these films, about the more recent films. And I think the thing that makes me not like them is that they try to use the nostalgia and the effect that the original movies had on me as a kid or as a young kid growing up to swallow the ridiculousness that they show in these movies. And it's kind of just like I said earlier, it's kind of like blasphemy. Like the stuff that happens in these movies, at least the last like 4, it's not possible. It doesn't make any sense. It's not real. And normally that wouldn't really bother me that much, but when you're trying to ground the storylines in a franchise that started out as very real, like the whole street racing scene and the hijacking scene, like the stuff that happens in the first 2 movies is pretty realistic. I mean, obviously there's some a little bit of exaggeration or whatever because all movies have that, but it's very realistic, and that's what I fell in love with as a kid, and that's why I drive a Mitsubishi Lancer right now. Like the original movies had a profound effect on me and shaped a lot of the way that I think about cars and stuff nowadays, and why I like to work on cars so much is because of those movies. And it was realistic. And now, like, that I'm adult, I'm able to kind of live out the fantasies that I had when I was watching those movies, you know?
Kind of.
Right? It's kind of.
They rolling in the money they had.
Yeah. But now I'm watching these movies and it's just like, this is not Fast and the Furious. This is not what I fell in love with. So I pose the fix, we'll call it, that they should have at some point made a break, right? Like now we're like, I don't know, like a spinoff essentially, right? Like they, at some point there should have been a clear break of like, all right, this is the end of Fast and the Furious that you know it. Now we're going to go explore what it could be or whatever. I don't know. I don't know exactly how you would word it or present it, but like I feel like a good breaking point would have been, unfortunately, when Paul Walker died. You know, like you could have been like, all right, this is the end of Fast and the Furious. The stuff that we're gonna do now is a spin-off. Like we're just gonna have fun with it, just cool action stuff. But instead, they tried to just continue to build on what they had, and then they turned it into this ridiculous thing where every 5 seconds there's something on screen that just, 1, doesn't make sense, 2, shouldn't be possible or isn't possible in real life, but yet you want to try and make me believe that it's still Fast and the Furious, and it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been past this. Like, I accepted it a long time ago that this franchise is just dead. Not dead in the sense that we're like, people aren't watching it, obviously, but like,
but dead in the sense that people
its
shouldn't be watching
has
it.
Been gone a long time ago.
It's so,
yeah,
it just sucks because the original, like the first 2, like it really did have like a huge impact on me. Like the reason why I drive a Mitsubishi Lancer is because Paul Walker drove a Mitsubishi Lancer.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the first 2 films too, like they were. I'm pretty sure, at least the first time I went to Universal, but those were actually some of the more like, I guess kind of groundbreaking movies as far as effects and stuff goes.
Oh, sure, especially with cars.
When the first 2.
Yeah.
That is not the case with this movie. It's just pretty much all really bad looking CG and stuff.
That was one thing I wanted to bring up. There's a lot of bad CG in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I just assumed that's pretty much what's happened since 4 and up.
Not really. I mean, like I'd say like 5, 6, 7, 8 are all like decent, like pretty good CG. But this one had a lot of bad CG. Like the scene of Dom driving down the stairs after the ball, in his Hellcat Charger in Rome, I think it was.
Yeah,
Rome. Like that scene was so bad.
Yeah. Well, the fact that it's using CG is
Yeah.
not true to its original
Right. That
movies.
yeah, you're right.
It used to be like the reason why those movies were at least I imagine within the industry like popular was because of the way they shot the movie and
Right.
all the effects with the cars and gunfire and all that
they
kind
had
of stuff.
real cars, real people
Yeah.
driving them. There's a little bit of CG, like in the first one during the initial drag race, the first drag race between Dom and Paul and Brian O'Connor. That had a lot of CG, but like there's a lot of real car movement, real car
Yeah, like
acrobatics.
a lot of the action and like stunts and stuff were real.
Yeah. And they were built like the cars were real. Like they actually had really good, like fast and powerful engines, and it was like if you were a car fanatic and in the movie industry, it was like the perfect opportunity for you to mesh your two loves.
Yeah. So the fact that they pretty much it's like 99% CG now.
Yeah.
Like I said, from 4 up is basically when I assumed that kind of kicked in a lot. Because 3 had it,
but it wasn't
like
6 or
that
maybe
crazy.
5. Like 4 was still all right. Like I think 4 is all right. 5 is when 5 is when Paul Walker dies. No, 6 is right. 7? Really?
I have no idea.
Because 4 is when they. What is 4?
4 is the tunnels when Letty dies.
Oh,
5 is when
right,
they
right.
steal the
4 is when Letty dies. 5 is when they steal the bank
Doesn't
vault.
die?
6 is when they fight.
And then 6 is when Letty comes back and they fight
the group of
Deckard Shaw? Owen Shaw.
Owen Shaw.
And then 7 is when Paul Walker is dead.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then 8 is Cypher. 9 is.
Oh no, I think he died during the filming of 6.
No, he died during the filming of 7, and then he used his brothers to finish.
Right.
7. That's when you get the C.
Yeah, the Wiz Khalifa "See You Again." I cried.
That's the only scene I actually saw for that movie was that.
It's really the only scene you need to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But between 4 and now, that was it. That's all I knew was. But the only reason I'm watching that is for Paul Walker, not for the movies.
Yeah, you know they're supposedly bringing him back for the final movie.
So did you know there's actually this is probably the saddest thing about this movie is I remember reading about Vin Diesel accidentally letting it slip that it's actually not just one. They're splitting it into 3 parts.
Oh, jeez. What?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do for a third part?
No, fuck, I don't know. They've been doing it this whole time, so I'm sure they can make some stuff up.
That's ridiculous. Because like the one thing, or not the one thing, but one of the things that I actually liked about this film is that they split it up and they didn't try to condense everything into one movie. Because that's what happened with 5, John. 6.
6 is 2 movies.
Number 6 was supposed to be 2 movies, and then they ended up just condensing it into one, and it made it just dumb. But I hope that it's not actually 3 parts, because that's just going to be ridiculous.
I mean, I don't really care because I don't really know how this is a movie because like the story or lack thereof is non-existent anyways, and all they're doing is just slapping random shit together to make a movie or something that runs the length of a movie.
They're recycling storylines. They recycle storylines. They throw cool, flashy action sequences in front of you to bait you, basically, and then they play on your nostalgia. Like, ladies and gentlemen, why the hell did they think it was a good idea to bring back Han's girlfriend? What is her name? It's played by Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot's character.
Oh, at the very end.
Yeah, you probably don't even know about it. So Gal Gadot, that character, she's supposed to be dead. She sacrificed herself in episode 6 to get everybody. Like she basically sacrificed herself to save everyone.
She fell off a plane that was about to take off onto a tarmac.
You've probably seen pictures of it. It's playing, and then there's like cars that they shot torpedoes or cables into to keep it down. Whatever. It was another ridiculous. The runway was like 10,000 miles long, apparently. Yeah, because it just kept going. But she, in order for them to get away safely, she had to sacrifice herself, and it destroyed Han, and that's why Han.
Isn't that what every character does?
Yeah,
pretty much. They have a overly dramatic death, and then they come back.
Yeah, I actually liked her death because it.
I mean, I don't even know. I still don't even know why the fuck Han's alive.
Oh, how he's alive? Yeah, I don't understand either. Nobody understands.
No, they never explained that.
They did.
Oh,
yeah, they did. But it's stupid.
Still doesn't make sense. No, okay,
it's dumb. So I can't stand it because one, it does the whole fucking fake death shit that I hate, and two, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. One, how she would have survived what happened, like literally jumping off a plane, and two, why is she working for Cypher? Why is she working for the literal enemy of the so-called family that she was supposed to be a part of? And she never reached out to Dom, never reached out to Han to let them know that she's alive, and whatever. Like, it just doesn't make any sense at all. And I know for a fact that they just brought her back because at the end of all of this, nobody is going to die. Like, nobody will have died. By the end of this storyline, Brian O'Connor will be back. Well, he's not actually dead within the universe, but like, nobody's going to die. They're just going to revive everybody that ever died that was part of the family. And at the end of the last movie, it's just going to be, all of our family is back together again.
It's just going to be a really long
It's going to be huge. It's going to be a huge table that has like 30 people on it, and nobody will have died. Like, I would not be surprised if that guy from the first movie that fucking got his arm and is shot by the shotgun and shit, and that's the reason why Dom found out that Brian is a police officer. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they brought him back. Like, it's just frustrating because it's like, what the are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Like, just leave her dead. Just leave her dead. Like, you could have done the whole submarine thing. She didn't need to be there. There's no reason why she needed to be the person that brought the submarine.
That submarine shouldn't be there too. I don't know what that's from, but
that was from episode 8 when Cypher was the big bad, the Charlize Theron character. She's the big bad, and they were fighting over this submarine. She wanted to
carried like a nuke.
Yeah, it was a nuclear capable submarine. She wanted it so that she could cause mayhem, and then Dom's team had to stop her, but she also like turned Dom against the team. She had Dom working for her because she held his baby mama, the Brazilian white chick. Yeah. So you know the girl that was the sister? Yeah, the picture.
Okay.
In this movie, the shrine in Brazil, and then his yeah, he saved the sister from the bomb while they were drag racing. Yeah, which was another really stupid thing.
You can't tell me that he knew that she was. They were.
There's no way.
I knew as soon as I saw you.
Yeah, how? First of all, there's no mention of her ever having a sister in the other movie. Second of all, they look nothing alike, at all. Like, nothing. So how do you know?
Trust me, bro.
Family. And can we talk about how Vin Diesel is just clenched fist walking around flex the whole time?
That's Vin Diesel.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
I
Dude,
am Groot.
You're an old man, bro. Just accept it. Right? Like, if you want to be jacked, just take a bunch of steroids and just be jacked. You don't have to walk around with your fist clenched to try and make your forearms look bigger than what they really are. And then there's those random shots where it's like it's a side profile of him, and you can see how obviously warped his freaking arms are, where it's just a little bicep in the middle of his humerus. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like, either go full bore into it, take the steroids, and actually be jacked, or stop trying, bro. Just stop. Right? Like, cause at this point, you just look ridiculous. You look like an idiot walking into the back of a car like this. Like, bro, come on, man. Just take the steroids. It's not that hard. It's actually probably pretty fun. I wouldn't know. I've yet to cave and do them.
And is Vin Diesel black?
Yeah, that's another question. Great question, producer. How is his son colored? Because his mom is not, and Vin Diesel is not, or at least so.
That's why Vin Diesel black, because his son's like dark.
Like yeah, like he ain't just like tan.
So that's the kid from
the
whatever
Brazilian
lady.
baby
Okay.
mama. Yeah, it's not Letty's kid. Which if it was Letty's kid, it would make more sense because Letty is Latina, right? And I mean he's still darker than I would expect for a Latino, but it would be more believable. And technically, the other girl is supposed to be Brazilian or probably Portuguese more than Brazilian, but she was very, very fair skinned.
Yeah.
So with blonde hair, and this
I mean,
kid,
it's possible, but it's
technically, genetically, yes,
yeah, but it's like
possible.
very, very unlikely.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Again,
I know. I don't know. I didn't even think about it. I don't care because I just hated everything.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up was I don't know why they chose to do it in this particular film, but the amount of throwback scenes essentially where they like tried to model a scene after something from the original, like the first two, was really frustrating. Because the beginning scene of Dom and his son driving around in the parking lot, that's obviously a direct relation to Brian O'Connor practicing his racing in the first movie. And then they have the drag race that's an obvious correlation to their drag race. So like there's a bunch of other ones too.
I was kind of confused. Like, why do they allow nitrous in those races?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Street racing, whatever it goes.
That just seems weird.
Why?
Like, cool, because the race it's supposed to be skill,
Yeah.
not I'm pushing this button.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's something that's kind of evolved over the Fast and the Furious franchise. Is that like it started out as pretty much just straight up drag racing, right? Point A to point B as fast as you can.
Yep.
And then it turned into drifting. That's why Tokyo Drift
awesome.
was so cool. And that added drifting into it. And then it turned into circuit racing with 4 and 5. They had those little like GPS things like, oh, turn right now. Oh shit. And then it just turned into ridiculousness. But as far as nitrous, I mean, I don't know. In real life, like street races, at least the somewhat legal ones you see on Street Outlaws on TV and stuff, like it's just when you agree to race somebody, they're supposed to tell you what's in your car and what you have, and if they agree, they agree. Right? You know, like if you say, "Hey, bro, I got 100 shot of nitrous," it's up to them. Be like, I could still take you with that.
Also, nitrous doesn't exactly work.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah,
it's not the way that it's portrayed in the movies. It's not a.
It's not like a video game.
Yeah, where you can press the button and you get this gigantic boost of energy. It's different, and most of the time, nitrous is constantly running. It's not a button. It's already running through your system, especially for drag races because you want that nitrous right off the bat. Yeah.
Although in this one, it's like a rocket ship.
Yeah, it's a rocket ship that turns your exhaust blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't know, that's actually a feature of the 2024 Charger.
Which was or the Challenger was portrayed in this way. I thought it was really interesting how they like put a whole bunch of very obvious product placement with cars in this movie. They had the new Challenger, the EV Challenger, and they had the new DeLorean, the EV DeLorean. I'm trying to think what else they had. All of the military trucks, those are new Barabbas trucks. There's a lot of cars. I was like, that's obviously they obviously like a company was like, "Oh, I'll give you a bunch of money to use my car."
I mean,
for
this fucking
particular
movie
scene."
was insanely expensive, so
Yeah.
like it literally like borders. I, I think it actually borders Avatar.
What? Really?
Yeah, it was like 350 million. I think.
Well, when Dom has a Challenger in every single city around the world, then or a Charger, a 69 Charger in every single city in the world, I guess that makes sense why it's so expensive.
He can literally summon on command.
Dude, it was straight up like a what is it? A GTA. It's straight up like, "Oh, I'm gonna call in my car from my garage."
You know what they should have did? They should have just had him enter a cheat code.
It would have been funny.
Beep.
Yeah, it actually would have been better because then I'd be like, "Oh, that's funny. It's a cheat code," instead of it just showing up in a plane that doesn't make any sense how it happened. Like, oh God, it's so annoying. It actually happened twice. One, where the hell did you get the Charger in Brazil to drag race with against Jason Momoa and the other two people? And then where did he get the Charger that was in the plane that Ames had?
It's like a game where everywhere he goes, because this movie just like jumps around everywhere. When you load into the new map, he just selects his loadout and it's just the same Charger every time.
Yeah, it's freaking ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Another thing that I noticed when I was watching the movie that I wanted to talk about was how it was very apparent that nobody was supposed to die in the movie. Like civilians, bystanders, nobody was supposed to die except for any enemy soldiers.
Yeah.
That was the only people that died in this movie.
Speaking of which, I guess it's good to have little kids murder like 20 dudes.
Yeah.
Casually.
Yeah, it's no big deal, bro.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. Yeah.
With this very cool, ridiculous car, but he's definitely murdering people. Like, and it's just kind of like, okay.
Yeah. They're in a suit of armor. You can't see their face. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if there's a group of people,
they're just in cars and you don't see them.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody else on screen are in these very weird, like full suit things.
Yeah,
and everybody's
that's very
face
specific,
is
so you
covered
can't
in
see their
helmets.
face.
Nobody has optics on their weapons.
It's annoying.
Everybody has different weapons on top of that. Like the very beginning, or when it's, I guess maybe it's a flashback or something.
Oh, when Jason
Momoa's backstory,
his intro.
Whatever country that is, all the guards all have different weapons.
In Brazil,
like literally every single generation of M16. I thought was interesting, but yeah, I don't know. The weapons were just kind of weird.
I thought some of the weapon choices were pretty interesting, like the when he goes to Cypher to take over her forces or whatever, and all of the security guys, like he's like, "Oh, I owned you now," and then they all point at Cypher instead of him. They were all running like those pistol conversion kit weapons. I don't even know what they're actually called, but it's literally just a pistol inside of a harness.
Just carbine kits.
A carbine
pistols,
kit. That's what it is. It's just like that's a really like if you're running a security force, like, that's the weapon you're choosing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go that deep into the logic, but really, I was just confused why their weapons just.
Why they had like a kill switch on it?
Work? That's not how that works.
Yeah,
they're not electronic, but I don't even know how you would attach anything electronic to make it like that.
It's up in the air, bro. That was was that in this franchise where you had to have like the fingerprint or whatever? Maybe that's a different movie franchise. Like it was a different one, yeah.
But yeah, they just, I don't know, they have a lot of weird choices. The only character who ever had an optic on their weapon though was Charlize Theron's character when she came. Oh no, not her. Brie Larson. Her character when she comes onto the bridge and she jumps onto the car. And then she's like, "Get off my car, bro!" And she's like, scratches and stuff. And I was like, oh, "Okay."
Brie Larson, I don't know what the hell you were doing in this movie, but it wasn't it. It wasn't it. You probably were my least favorite character in this movie because there was just nothing. You made me feel nothing during this movie, and then when you showed up on that bridge to save the day, I was just like, what? What? How did you even know that was going on?
She's Captain Marvel, bro. Come on.
It would have been funnier and like would have been okay with it if she had just flown in as Captain Marvel and was like, "Stop!" Like
that's actually what's gonna happen in the next movie.
It's just gonna cross over with Marvel.
Crossover. Yep. That's how it's gonna continue another 20 years.
I mean, shit. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. Oh man!
Just imagine Vin Diesel when he's like 90 years old, still in the movie.
That's a stroke, guys. Oh man, yeah. I don't know. It was ridiculous. It was weird that they were trying to like do this whole nobody dies thing. Like that, I'm thinking of this very specific scene where there's like a group of people eating or whatever, and the giant bomb ball is rolling down the street, and Dom like drives up on the sidewalk and protects them.
Was that his intent to protect them?
His intent,
or was it to just avoid the explosion?
No, I'm pretty sure his intent was to knock down the post so that the cloth roof
would stop the
fireball coming towards the people that were eating.
I wasn't sure.
It's gonna blow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was just trying to avoid it like a smart person would.
It's specifically to try and save the people. Hero moment. There's another one when he's like going down the stairs, that horribly CGI'd sequence.
And he like tries to stop the ball.
And there's like people on the side of the stairs that are like bracing for impact, and then he like does a weird drift move that like hits the ball out of the way. And then like two scenes later, a bunch of soldiers are dying and getting stabbed in the face and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Well, choose one. What are you doing?
There was one scene that stood out to me as being very weird.
Okay.
And awkward.
All right.
I don't know if it was just me, so we'll see. It's the scene with Jason Momoa hanging out with two dead
people.
Is this normal for Fast and the Furious to just have that?
That was a Jason Momoa or his character thing. They try to explain it when Dom's crew does background on him and they find out that he's like clinically insane, like he's actually crazy. That's kind of their explanation as to why he was hanging out with dead people.
Even he said he's like, I was legally dead for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
My brain didn't know come back or something like that.
Yeah. So I like it was weird, but I liked it because it like just added more depth to his villain character. It was out of place.
It was very out of place. It's not something I would like don't watch. It's just this is like a horror movie kind of thing.
kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. It was weird that they were like obviously dead too. Like it'd be different if like they like they're all messed up too. Yeah, they're just like laying there
asleep, in their presentation. That's one thing. But to be like
all mangled and
just
and him painting the toenails of the other guy is
very strange.
Let those dry.
Yeah.
I love Jason Momoa's character in this. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, he was great.
It was great. And I was pleasantly surprised because I was not expecting it to be that way. And I think we talked about it in the trailer reaction. Like we were kind of bummed that Jason Momoa was joining this franchise because we're like, man, like we don't want that to like, because we love Jason Momoa, because he's our cousin,
Yeah.
But we were bummed because he's kind of like tying his name to a bad thing. But I don't know. I think he actually killed it. And
well, I wasn't afraid of him.
Right. I was just afraid of like everything else demeaning his stock. He's which is tied to it now. Which is like still the case to me. Like, I still don't like that you're attached to this now. Yeah. And you're probably stuck with it. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's he's going to be the main villain for at least the next one.
As far as you know. Yeah. Let's see. As far as we know.
At least the next one.
For the most, or I guess at the least, the very next one. Yeah. If it's in 3 parts, that could be like
it's crazy to me.
Villains,
oh my god, it's crazy to me that he had a better final like line than Dom did. Like Dom's like his punchline thing at the end when he's on the bridge and he's like, "You forgot one thing. You didn't take my car." I thought that was lame as hell. But I thought Jason Momoa's punchline was like, "Suffering is over. Now you die." I thought that was cool. And I was just like, why is his shit cooler than the guy that's supposed to be the like pinnacle of the franchise?
I don't know. I'm surprised that he just didn't say another thing about family. That's his thing.
He forgot one thing.
Family.
Family. And then he proceeds to drive off the edge of a dam.
Yeah.
I didn't think it could
Like
get
rocket
more.
shit.
I said this the other night after I watched it. I did not think that it could get more ridiculous than Ludacris and whatever the guy's name is going to space.
I mean, I still think that's more ridiculous.
No, dude, no.
But
No, because it actually like doesn't make sense, but they make more of an attempt to explain it because they like go to these special people to help get, fucking build the rocket ship and all that shit. Like there's a little bit more explanation that justifies it a tiny bit more. Not much, but a tiny bit more.
I don't know, bro.
Dog drove down the side of a dam.
Do you know what requires to go into space?
Yeah, a bunch of fire and.
I mean, it's part of it, yeah.
Doesn't mean you're gonna survive, but you'll get up there.
Well, maybe you might just, explode. But
No, I was just, oh my god, it's the amount of times that Dom like did something with his car where that car should just literally fall into pieces.
I don't even know how it's how is it running this
Yeah.
entire movie? Like I know he changes throughout, but
Remember
they
that-
all get just annihilated.
Remember that one scene where he pushes the ball into the river by launching himself off the
and
side
hitting
of
the
a crane,
and
and then
swinging.
the car smacks into the side of the wall and falls to the ground, and he just drives away like it's fine.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right.
Well, not only that, then the fucking nuke goes off.
Yeah.
And it
And
has a 10-minute delay or what, some weird, ridiculous
the shockwave delay. Yeah.
I was just like, oh, that's not how that works either.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. And this is a perfect example of why I hate these movies, I guess, is because in that scene, Dom throws himself into a crane, then spirals into a wall and falls another 20 feet down to the ground and lands on all four wheels. Car visually looks messed up, but then is able to drive away, hit some NOS, and escape an explosion. But in the first movie, when they're driving after the semi truck at the very end, and the driver shoots out Dom's tire, that car is now no longer able to do anything, and he has to get picked up by somebody else.
It's the Batmobile. It's the new Batmobile. The Batman's Batmobile.
The Batman. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
That's why.
I think we could sit here all day tearing apart this movie.
At the very end, when we get the little after,
The post-credit scene?
post credits
Yeah.
or whatever.
Or mid-credit scene or whatever. What was the mid-credit scene?
There's only one.
It's just the
Yeah,
one.
but what was the mid? What was it? I'm trying to remember.
It's
Rock.
the announcement of the
Oh,
Rock,
The Rock,
or
The
the
Rock,
reveal of the Rock.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the story of his character or whatever, or where they're at or what he's doing.
Yeah.
But a whole bunch of tactical dudes
Yep.
walking through this building.
Yeah.
Wearing NVGs.
Yeah. Don't use them.
Using flashlights.
Yep. I
And wearing shaded goggles
Yeah.
on top of that.
yeah. And
Indoors.
bakulas.
Yeah.
Because, Also, it's funny that you bring that up because it doesn't make any sense for his character at all. Because his character
Because
is
they make just from that little thing, I'm like, oh, he's supposed to be like fucking an extension of his G.I. Joe character. Where he's just this,
Basically-
like, special forces dude.
yes, but like physically, like presentation wise, his whole thing is that he's a big burly dude that's in your face. He wears like a tank top armor thing, and that's it. He doesn't wear any headpieces, any sleeves, any
He likes to
shirts.
be extra flashy.
Like he showed up in a helmet with a baklava and NVGs, purely did that so that they could have that
Well, they
moment
gotta
of him taking
reveal,
it off to
yeah.
reveal. It doesn't make any sense for his character. He would never like. I don't think that his character would have ever actually worn that in real life. And I knew it was him as soon as you saw the revolver, which he probably didn't know. But that was his like trademark. Well, that too, yeah. But like his trademark is that he walks around with this 500 Smith and Wesson Magnum on his hip. It's actually a cool holster because it's not like a full holster. It just kind of like clicks in from the side, so you can deploy it by like pushing forward instead of pulling up. It's actually cool, but.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting.
I thought it was dumb, like most of this movie.
I mean, yeah, the entire thing is retarded. But
I thought it was dumb.
I just, yeah, I was so confused at like everything I was seeing in this movie. And there'd be times when like, I don't know if it was just joking or like Scarlett would be like cheering like sarcastically or like seriously.
Oh, really?
Because she would like look at me and like smile and I'm like, no, stop, please.
Yeah, it's probably during like nostalgia tidbits that they were trying to get. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know what these nostalgia moments are
because you don't watch
it's
it.
just
Yeah, I didn't. There was no.
Except for the see you again.
Yeah. So that was probably the only one, but even that to me felt really cheap and misplaced. And
I didn't understand what
like why did
it
you
was
do that?
there. Yeah, I just didn't get the. I mean, I know I don't understand all the memories that it's like showing or whatever, but I just in the movie, like everything just feels random to me.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
Like I don't understand what's going on every single moment and why it's supposed to mean something or connected. I think beyond just the fact that I just don't know the story, it just feels weird.
Even me that knows the entire full story and pretty well versed in it, it felt random. It felt like Vin Diesel sat down at a table with the writers and whoever's involved and was like, all right, we're going to put together a movie of random, crazy, insane stunts. We're going to throw in some nostalgia tidbits. And the whole time I'm going to walk around flexed. Just write it. Go. And then we got Fast X. Is what it felt like.
No, he just walked in. Just didn't like roll the camera.
It was I did not enjoy this movie. And I'm sure we could sit here tearing it apart a lot further, but at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, like for me it doesn't even serve a purpose of mindless action. You know, like there's some movies out there that are not very good, but at least they provide you with like Transformers is a great example.
Yeah, but see, the action in this movie isn't even cool.
Right. That's what I mean. It's not fun action mindless. It's like, what the fuck was that?
And you know what's sad? Is Transformers still has more of a story than this fucking franchise does.
Yeah. I'm excited for Rise of the Beast, man.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah. And I'm excited for John to experience his first 40X. Yeah.
Hope you're ready. Hope your body is ready.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm a fan of being shook around, so.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us on this here, more of a rant than it is a breakdown or a review. We would like to hear from you guys. You know, if you guys have differing opinions than what we shared, if you guys actually enjoyed the movie or thought it was good, let us know why. You know, I can't say that you'll be able to convince me, but you can give it a shot, and I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this movie and where it's headed, because apparently there's going to be 2 more movies.
Well, potentially 3.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I need to go pray. I need to get this out of my head.
Don't forget the...
Huh? The what?
The fucking necklace.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. There's so many stupid things like that. Like, why would you do that? Like, and then you stab her for what reason? Like, oh my God. It's so stupid. Brie Larson. Just, oh my God. I don't know who wrote your character, but it just wasn't it. It wasn't it, man. It wasn't it. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend. Check out our social media links as well as the other shows here on Any Kind Media. Again,
at least we got to see a Jeep.
Huh?
Even though it didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. We really appreciate all of you guys here, part of our family listening to us, all 68 of you. It's really cool to see you guys continuing to subscribe, and we really appreciate the support. So thank you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye, guys.